I went from jacking off multiple times a week for over 2.5 years straight whilst being on NoFap, whilst trying to quit. But now in the last 9 months, I have not jacked off even once. And in this video, I want to walk you through what I did yesterday to explain what I do on a daily basis and why I do it from a NoFap perspective, and hopefully provide some value to you to make this journey a bit easier. Let's hop into it. So yesterday, I woke up at 5 a.m. and then I got out of bed. I pressed my alarm clock. I have like a lamp, like a light that is gradually increasing its intensity in the light that is emitted from it, so that it kind of gradually wakes me up. Also, it has like a smooth instrumental song that is being played, like of natural sounds, so that I wake up to that rather than my alarm clock, which is just like like that, you know? Because I do feel better when I wake up to the other alarm clock than just my phone. I just feel like I'm sort of in a more calmer state, which I like. And I do think there's a significant amount of evolution behind that as well. Like, if you think about how the human brain was 10,000 years ago, it's pretty similar to how it is now, because our biology hasn't changed that much. And so when we woke up like that, like in an instant, that usually meant that there was a sort of threat around us, like some saber-toothed tiger, and our fight or flight sort of cortisol and adrenaline system start firing at all cylinders. And I don't think that's the emotional state that I want to be in when I wake up in the morning. So I prefer using my wake up lamp and having that kind of gradually wake me up over time. So yeah, I do that. And then I hop in the cold shower. I take cold showers every morning because I really like getting a first small win in the day. But then there's also significant scientific backing as well, that when you have cold showers, you really fucking boost your dopamine levels, which is the molecule in your brain that is released into your blood that regulates motivation and drive. So when you have a lot of dopamine, you are very motivated to pursue the thing that's in front of you. So for example, in terms of NoFap, let's say you come home from school and you're really fucking horny because you saw this fit thing in your class, right? And you want to jack off to your Instagram pictures, right? You have the urge, you maybe feel the first little sprinkle of the urge on the bus. You get the idea of doing it, and you're like, yeah, I'll do that shit when I come home, right? You go against what you know is right. You know that you shouldn't be doing that shit. You've said that you weren't going to do it. This is not the path that you want to keep being on, but you insist on doing it. And so you come home, you go into the fucking toilet or whatever, and you load up this bucket fucking bitch's Instagram and you jack your little pee-pee, right? Throughout that entire process, your dopamine is fucking firing. You're really motivated to keep going, to pursue this thing. A lot of people have this misconception that dopamine is pleasure, that it is what makes things pleasurable. It's actually not. It's way more impactful in terms of the motivation, the drive, the pursuit, the hunt of something. So when you are pursuing something like the opportunity to jack off, like pornography, because you can't do that shit on the bus, of course, you are extremely motivated to keep going because you've been rewarded for doing it in the past. And so the thing that happens afterwards, though, is the real killer. You get a huge rise in dopamine. You feel really motivated. You really want to keep going. You really want to reach orgasm, right? But then what happens afterwards? It plummets down below the original baseline even. So it doesn't just go back to normal, but you actually feel shittier afterwards than before. There's science to support this as well. Like, your dopamine levels restabilize at a lower baseline after a huge peak like this. And so what happens for most people is that they keep doing this thing and their dopamine levels just go down and down and down to a point that the only real thing that brings them joy, that is stimulating enough, is the drug that they've been using to create this detriment in their dopamine levels in the first place. And so addiction, from a scientific perspective, is defined as a progressive narrowing of the things that bring you pleasure. So for some people, the only thing in the world that's fun is coke, is meth, these kinds of things. For some people, the only thing that's fun in the world is having sex, is jerking off, is watching porn. And this is largely due to dopamine levels, because you're like, this is how the mechanism works. You, like, according to the fucking science and everything, like, you get a huge peak, a rise in dopamine, but then when the drug wears off, when you either when your brain either adapts and develops tolerance for this drug, it just feels like normal. Like if you've edged for 3 hours, it doesn't really feel that intense or even like pleasurable, at least not nearly as pleasurable as it was in the beginning. And so a lot of people, they really fucking motivate to jack off, and then they do that shit for like half an hour, and then they were trying to find the perfect Pornhub fucking porno video, the perfect Pinterest picture, or whatever the fuck, the perfect Instagram bitch. And then after like half an hour of searching, it's barely even pleasurable anymore. And the thing is, everything else that would have been okay to do, like study or read or work out or hang out with people, all that shit is way less fun, and it's way more boring and way less stimulating. And so you'll be less likely to do it. And so when you experience this peak, and then it goes down hugely afterwards, that is what creates addiction. And so when people go through that loop, like multiple times a day with multiple things, like jerking off, scrolling as well, like fucking junk food, alcohol, a bunch of these modern day drugs, not just like hard drugs like coke and meth and weed or whatever the fuck people do, but normal things like social media and pornography and movies and junk food and video games is a big one as well. And so I think it's a huge thing in the modern world that people are struggling with without even knowing anything about it. It's dopamine. And so what happens with cold showers is that you get a boost, an initial boost in dopamine comparable to the one that you get from cocaine, which is about 2.5x, which is huge. Like with sex, you get roughly about a 2x increase in dopamine levels during the peak with like sex and porn and all that shit. With cold showers, you get about a 2.5x increase, or you can do a cold bath as well, cold plunge, but cold exposure, like to cold water. You get a 2.5x increase roughly, but then what happens is really interesting. It doesn't just plummet down below the original baseline like what happens with all the other drugs, but the rise, the ascent, is sustained for about 4 to 6 hours usually, and then it kind of tapers off slowly. But even then, the baseline restabilizes at a higher level. So it's a bit of it's a fucking cheat code for like energy and motivation and drive, at least from a scientific perspective. Of course, people can have different personal experience, but I've always had the experience with cold showers that I get a lot of energy from doing them. I feel very motivated afterwards. I feel like I perform better in the activities that I do after I've had the cold shower than if I hadn't done it. So I feel like I create more leverage by hopping in the cold shower for like a minute or whatever, however long it takes, than, for example, having a hot shower. Because like I'm gonna have a shower no matter what. I'm gonna have a shower when I go out here and record these videos. I'm gonna have a shower before I go to school. I'm gonna have a shower before I go to the gym. And so I may as well get the fucking huge benefits of cold exposure, right? And it's also just something that trains your discipline, which is also useful. Some people say that your willpower is fucking capped, that it's finite, that you shouldn't be wasting your willpower on things like these. But like, come on, like stop being a fucking bitch, bro. Like, can't you fucking work after you've done something difficult? I actually think it's the opposite. I think that from my personal experience, when I do hard shit, the things that I do afterwards feels less hard in comparison, which I think is pretty logical. And there's also like that is also how dopamine works. When you do shit that you're not motivated to do, your dopamine levels actually go down in the beginning, which is what happens with cold showers, because I'm not fucking motivated to go in fucking, I don't know, 10 degrees Celsius water, whatever, because it's painful, it's difficult, and that's the way my brain perceives it. And so the dopamine levels go down initially, but then they fucking shoot up when you get out of there. And so I actually think it's the opposite. And so I would, like, something that I've tried and that I've learned from Dr. Andrew Huberman, who is like a scientist on YouTube. He recommends if you are going to do something hard and you want to prevent procrastination, something that you can do is do something even harder. Because then the thing that is going to be hard afterwards is going to be easier in comparison, which I've actually found, I'd say specifically on a micro level in terms of the micro tasks that I'll do. If I just take 5 minutes before I start studying or some shit like that, to just sit and do nothing and kind of just relax a little bit and not watch some video that I'm watching or whatever, it's usually way easier to not procrastinate. And so that's been my experience with all this. So yeah, I love cold showers. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty close to like 1,500 cold showers at this point. I started in late 2022, and for a long time, for about 2.5 years, I didn't even fucking have a hot shower once. I had hot baths because I was doing some jujitsu and some grappling or some wrestling. And then you kind of have to get warm water on your skin to kill the bacteria, because it's like there's some significant risks if you don't do that. But I did not have a single hot shower. I started having hot showers again in June last year, 2025, when I got onto like a big bulk, because I didn't want to risk my hypertrophy. How do you say that shit? Like hypertrophic gains in terms of like my muscle growing and shit being stunted by the fact that I experienced cold exposure after the gym, because that's like scientifically proven that if you hop in the cold shower after you, for example, go to the gym, it can reduce recovery. And if you want to build bigger muscles, then you probably don't want to do that. At least not for me. So I have a hot shower after the gym and a cold shower before the gym, which I think is a perfect combo. So I do that. I'm in the cold shower, and then I go out, and then I brush my teeth, and then I get my clothes on, and then I go into my hallway. I grab my winter jacket. Yesterday, I'm pretty sure I also wore these gloves. I usually grab a pair of gloves as well when I go out, because it's like pretty fucking cold in the Swedish winter right now. It's like minus 10 degrees or something Celsius. And yeah, I went out. I've got my hat on as well, keeping my little head warm. The light in the mist hat, LITM. I don't know if you can see that shit. Yeah. And then I went outside. I grabbed my backpack as well, went outside, and I went out into the woods, and I set my tripod up with my phone, and I made my daily video. Like, this is my daily video for today. And I made the video for yesterday. I think it was about 34 minutes, something like that. And I think it was a great video. I think I provided a lot of great tips, and I think I spoke quite well and quite concisely and comprehensively. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with yesterday's video. And yeah, man, I think it went pretty well. I just basically do these videos in one take. I set up my tripod, I record with my phone. I have the flashlight on because it's pretty fucking dark at 5:30, 6 a.m. in the Swedish winter in the woods. There aren't any fucking street lamps or any shit like that. But yeah, man, I just set it up and I spit some game to the boys. As I do in this video, I recapped yesterday to kind of document my journey and tell you why I do what I do, and hopefully give you some tips and tricks and stuff. So I thought the video that I made yesterday was great, actually. So yeah, and then I think I finished the video at about 6:30. I think I started recording at about 6 a.m. So yeah, exactly. So at about 6:30, I finished the video, and then I went back home to where I live, about 20 minutes of walk, and then I hopped on the first call that I have with my boys. So I basically have like a NoFap accountability group. First of all, I have a school community, which is for free. It's like kind of a Discord server, but on steroids. There's like a forum page where you can write posts and hold people accountable, and people can hold you accountable. There's a classroom section, in which there are courses that I've made, like free courses. Like I think I've made about 3 hours of courses, like NoFap stuff, like all the tips and tricks that I've learned and the things that have been useful for me on this journey. So, and then there's also like a calendar function where you can have calls in the group and stuff. I don't have the calls in the school community, but then everyone that joins the school community that I think I could help, I message them and I basically ask them if they want help on NoFap, and then I offer my free coaching. I'm currently doing free NoFap coaching, specifically accountability with people. So we're about 15 guys right now, 15, 16 guys. And yeah, I host 3 calls a day with the guys that have been like keen on getting accountability from me, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. I'll be happy to do that, man. And yeah, I have like a separate group of those people on WhatsApp to make it a bit more like tight knit and everything. And yeah, like I just hop on calls with everyone. I do 3 calls a day, so it's at 7 a.m., 1 p.m., 7 p.m. my time, which is a Central European time in Sweden. And yeah, I just ask every single member, like, have you been jacking off since the last call? Have you had any urges? If so, when did you have them? How did it go? How did you feel? And then how has your dopamine detox gone? Have you been scrolling? Have you been eating junk food? Or have you been doing things that aren't that stimulating, that would keep your baseline of dopamine higher as opposed to lower? to be able to resist the urges better and to be able to perceive the long-term cost of jacking off in the moment. Because for me, when I'm on a quite strict dopamine detox, which I'm on right now, um, it's very easy for me to kind of overlook the initial, I don't know what even to call it, but like desire to jack off and be like, this doesn't make fucking sense. Like, come on, like, what the fuck is this? Like, sure, it's pleasurable, but it's like, it's not who I am. Like, I don't want to do that shit, and it'll cost me progress in terms of my long-term goals. And so for me, dopamine detox, having a high baseline of dopamine, which you get through doing things that are not very pleasurable, that has been really fruitful for me in terms of NoFap, because I just feel like my willpower is so much stronger, which I define as acting despite your desire. So having a desire to do something, wanting to do something, but not doing it. That is how I define willpower. And I feel like my ability to do that is highly, highly enhanced and improved when I've not done so many pleasurable activities like eating junk food, or I don't really eat junk food in general, but eating more like stimulating foods like fucking protein bars or some cereal or some shit like that, some sugary stuff. Or for example, scrolling. I don't really scroll on social media or any of that bullshit. Watching movies, fucking playing video games like chess, I've done a lot of. When I refrain from all that shit, I really feel the difference in terms of my willpower, and it's great, man. And so I ask the members, have you done this? Have you done this? Have you done this? How has it gone? And then if somebody has jacked off, like was the case yesterday, like with two people, in fact, or one of the guys had done it a few days before, but we hadn't really, like, he didn't hop on a call until today and stuff. But either way, I had two guys explain to me that they had jacked off yesterday. And yeah, it was really fun. I was laughing my ass off at them. I was having them walk all of us through the fucking entire experience of when did you start getting urges? What kind of stuff were you visualizing? How did it feel? Did you feel any shame associated with entertaining the thoughts, or obviously doing the thing as well? And then how did it go? Like, what kind of stuff were you watching? Were you watching porn? What the fuck were you watching? And all that shit. And yeah, I just laugh at them. Like, what did you physically do with your hand? Like, yeah, bro, I grabbed my pee-pee like this. We're all fucking laughing our ass off. It's really fun, bro. Obviously, I don't want my fucking students to jack off, but I mean, either way, either I get relieved because they don't fucking jack off, and or I just get to have a great laugh. So it's a win-win. But yeah, I think we're about 15, 16 guys, and I've done this stuff for about 2 months now. And I think we've had maybe like half of the people jack off once. Some people have done it twice, maybe 3 people or something. But in general, we've had like a 90% reduction in jacking off total, because most people were doing it in like, I mean, 2 to 3 times a week, usually like a couple of times a week on average. And then now maybe like fucking, I don't know, fucking once a month or something like that on average, maybe once every 3 weeks or something, 2 weeks. So yeah, it's definitely great progress that we made, but we're not stopping here. This is not the end point, of course. Like, we're gonna get the people inside fucking free from this bullshit, and yeah, man, that's the objective. But yeah, I had the first call at 7, and yeah, just spoke. That was like one of the guys who hopped on. He told me that he had jacked off, and yeah, it's a fun little thing, you know. Obviously, like, that is not like, it's not a fun thing that he jacked off. Like, it's not that in and of itself is like fucking like, come on, what the fuck are you doing? Well, that's fucking embarrassing. But just the experience of like explaining it and going through all the details is a bit funny. So yeah, it was all good. We're making progress from there. And then after the call at about 7:45 or something like that, at about 8 a.m., we stayed on for quite a long time and just talked about stuff. I went to school, hopped on the bus, went to school. I have one class during the forenoon, so from like about 8:30 to about 11:30, and then one class from about 1 p.m. to about let's say 12:30, 1 p.m. to like 3:30 p.m. or something like that. And during today, like on Fridays, which was yesterday, I only have one class. I have what's called a half day, and so I finished at noon roughly. So that's pretty sweet. and I had like rhetorics, or however you say that shit, like learning how to speak better and shit. Um, and that was the subject matter of yesterday's class. I don't really like school. I don't think it's very useful, at least not for me. I don't really learn anything from it, because I define learning, or I think the behavioral definition of learning, which I personally learned from Alex Ramosi, is that like same condition, new behavior. And so if you do not change what you do as a result of consuming something, then you have not learned. And so I think a lot of people do a lot of work in school. They memorize a bunch of information, they consume information, they consume content, but they don't actually change their behavior. They don't change what they do as a result. They don't actually fucking, like, they might learn about fucking Gustav Vasa, like the fucking Swedish king of the 14th century or 15th, 16th century. But they don't actually change what they do. They don't actually go and fucking use that information in real life. But either way, I don't really like school, but the reason that I stay in school is that I have kind of like an agreement with my parents that they're gonna support me and provide for me in my grind, with my bulking grind and everything, so that I don't have to take like a normal 9 to 5 job and shit to pay for my food and all that, because I eat quite a lot and shit and stuff. But yeah, and then in return I stay in school, and I graduate in like 4 months, so it's like it's all good. And or is it 4 months? February, March, April, May. Yeah, it's like 4 months. So yeah, man, I do that, and yeah, what else did I do? Yeah, so I went to class. I stayed in class. I did some of the work there, whatever. Did some exercises with like fucking with people and shit, because that subject, like rhetorics, I don't even know how to say that shit, but like rhetorical, like study or whatever you want to call it. The course that I'm taking there is quite practical, and we're actually speaking with each other, which is quite nice in comparison to basically all the other courses, like with maths or fucking let's say with like social studies or fucking whatever, natural science or Swedish or some other shit. We don't really fucking interact with each other or actually practice. What we do is more that we memorize and study bullshit. So and it's definitely more fun to just speak to people than fucking write some bullshit essay. But either way, I was in class, finished at about 11:40, I think, a.m. And then I went straight home, hopped on the bus again, and then I ate food. I had some, what was it? Well, I think, yeah, some oats, some pasta, some fucking chicken. I'm pretty sure. Man, I can't even remember. I probably have some clips that I'll overlay. We'll see. But yeah, I had some food, and then I didn't really know what to do for like maybe half an hour, so I kind of just watched like a video, like an entrepreneurship video, because that's what I love and that's what I do. And yeah, it was like during the afternoon. Maybe I could have been more productive because I did some shallow tasks, like I messaged some people in my WhatsApp group and some stuff. I checked my school community a little bit. Checked some other stuff on my phone. I didn't scroll or any bullshit like that, but maybe I could have been more productive. But in general, I'm pretty happy. Like I just ate. It took pretty long for me to finish all my food because like my mom was cooking food and she didn't want me to have some other food while she was cooking. She wanted me to have the food that she was cooking, which is reasonable. But that took a bit longer. But either way, I ate, and then I did some shallow work on my phone, just messaging some people. And then at about 3 p.m. or 2:30 or something, I started eating more. I had my second meal. I ate at about 12:30, and then I ate about like 2:30 as well. So I ate more, and then I went to the gym. I arrived maybe 3:15, something like that, and I did some accessory muscles yesterday. I did some shoulders, some lateral delts, some neck, some calves, and some abs. So 3 sets per exercise, 12 sets in total, one exercise per muscle. And yeah, I think I did it pretty well. Like I'm pretty sure I progressed on every single set. Like I made progression. I did more reps than I did the last workout. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the workout yesterday. I always push to failure, beyond failure, fucking grunting and growling like Sam Slow. Fucking you'll see if like maybe I'll overlay some sound clip as well of me doing that shit. But like it's yeah, I train pretty hard, and I think 12 sets is quite adequate. Maybe I could do more. Maybe I should progressively overload not only my reps and my weight, but the actual amount of sets that I do, because I do think that your ability to recover from sets and to handle more volume in the gym is trainable. That makes sense to me, like, because the body is designed to adapt to outside stimulus, I feel like. So yeah, maybe I'll start doing more sets, because I take quite long rest breaks, so it's a bit difficult for me to do a lot of sets, because I really want to make sure that I don't leave any reps in the tank, and that I rest for as long as I need to squeeze as much juice out of my set as I possibly can. So yeah, that's what I'm currently doing. And then afterwards, I did some stretching, about 20 minutes of stretching for my hip flexors and my quads, because a lot of people, I think myself included, have something called anterior pelvic tilt, which is that basically your hip has been rotated a bit forward because of bad posture and sitting down all day, a sedentary lifestyle like a lot of people have these days, including myself, largely because I'm in school and I sit down quite a lot. I read and I work and shit. I do these videos. I sit down when I do these videos. But yeah, and a lot of people are like maybe shorter than they ought to be, because their hips have been like a bit rotated forward, and they kind of lose a bit of height because of that. They're fucking like their lower back is a bit shorter than it should be, and there's like I've seen some really good fucking case studies and shit of people that have grown like, I mean, multiple inches just off of doing like anterior pelvic tilt stuff. I'm currently 6 foot and I haven't really grown in like fucking 2 years. But maybe if I can, like, I may as well, if I can squeeze another inch out, like, why wouldn't I try to do that? That'd be cool. Because like height maxing as a topic in terms of self-improvement, I think is really unexplored. And yeah, it would be fun to make some progress there as well. But if I don't, I'm also good. But yeah, I did some stretching after the normal weightlifting workout in the stretching room at the gym. Then I went back home. I think I listened to some podcasts throughout the entire workout, some Alex Hormozi stuff. And then I went home, listened to some more podcasts on the way home. And then I ate more when I came home. Same thing. There was a bit of a delay because my mother was cooking dinner, like, bless her, of course. There's nothing, I'm not complaining there. But like, there was a bit of like a maybe 15, 20-minute delay or some shit like that before I could actually have the proper food. And I think I just did some shallow tasks there as well, like messaging some people. Like, and I watched like a video on the TV, like an educational business entrepreneurship video, which I don't think is like bad or anything like that. I don't think it's nearly comparable to like watching a Mr. Beast video, because I know that there's a high likelihood that I'll change what I do as a result of watching, for example, an Alex Hormozi video or whatnot. Because that's how it's been in the past, as compared to me just watching like a fucking Mr. Beast bullshit video that is way more dopaminergic, which I don't. But yeah, I had the food afterwards. Yesterday I had some fucking, man, I can't even remember what I had. I mean, I know what I had after the main dinner. I had some bread and some cheese because I needed more calories and more protein. So that's some of that. But then before, I'm pretty fucking, yeah, I had some, yeah, exactly. I had some eggs, some bacon, and some, man, what the fuck else did I have? Why can't I remember? No, but I had 10 eggs and a packet of bacon, like 140 grams. That's what I had. And then I had some more bread and cheese afterwards. That I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I had that. And I'm pretty sure I was pushing close to 4,000 calories yesterday. I was a bit lazy and sloppy with my calorie counting. I'm pretty sure I ate quite a lot, but like in terms of, because I obviously know a bit of like this food has these many calories. Like I know that 10 eggs and a packet of bacon is going to be 1,000 calories, more or less. And then the cheese and the bread that I ate is going to be about, I mean, I had like almost 300 grams of white bread. So that's going to be like almost like 600 calories or something like that. And then the cheese, 100 grams of white cheese is going to be about 400 calories, the one that I'm eating. So that's about 1,000 calories as well, about 30 grams of protein, about 60, 70 grams of protein in the eggs and the bacon. And then I ate some stuff before. So I think I'm in a pretty good ballpark, because I'm trying to push 4,000 calories a day. But yeah, I just need to get better at fucking actually tracking and counting my calories. But yeah, man. So I ate that. And then I forgot to mention, at 1 p.m. I had a call with the boys, another call. And yeah, we just spoke about some stuff. And once again, I went through with everyone. Have you been jacking off? Have you been productive? How was it gone? And so on. But then I had another one, the last one, the final one, third one, at 7 p.m. And yeah, I think we were fucking five, maybe six guys in total on the call. And we're usually from, I'd say, 3 to 6. So me and 2 to 5 other people on each call, because obviously everyone can't join all the time because it's like different time zones and shit, because we're all around the world. And then, yeah, honestly though, some people have just not been very consistent at showing up. I got to do some stuff about that. So if you, for example, end up joining the fucking community and you do end up joining the group, then you better not be one of these fucking people, bro. Because maybe I will employ some harsher policies in terms of how much people have to show up to the calls. Because last 2 weeks, people have been pretty inconsistent on the calls. Like at least some people, maybe half of them. Which me as a coach, me as a leader, it's my job to fix that. But either way, we were about 5 guys on the call, and yeah, it was great. One guy had jacked off. It was a normal thing. Just explained the entire situation, and we just had a bit of a laugh and everything. So yeah, it's all good, man. And or no, actually, that was on the 1 p.m. call that we had the other guy who jacked off. On the 7 p.m. call, we didn't have anyone. So I just went through. Have you been jacking off? Have you been jacking off? Have you been jacking off? Have you been productive? Have you been on a dopamine detox? Have you strolled? Have you eaten junk food? Have you fucking I don't know, video games, all that bullshit? What have you done? And then I also like to ask, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how productive have you been today? Because usually, when people are more productive in terms of working towards their goals, at least for me, when I used to jack off, I kind of used to jack off um, in conjunction, like in combination with doing some other stuff that I shouldn't have done, like eating some junk food. It was usually like that. It wasn't usually that I was on like a hot streak, like fucking cold shower, boxing. I was doing a lot of martial arts back in the day, like last year and year before that, and year before that as well. Boxing, the cold shower, the gym, fucking trying to make money from affiliate marketing on TikTok, and not eating any junk food, and just waking up at fucking 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., going to bed at 9, like a soldier, buzz cut everything. That usually wasn't when I was gonna jack off. It was more like when I had free time, I start scrolling a little bit, eating some stuff that I should be eating, and I just felt more lazy, and that was when I usually jacked off. And so I think, yeah, I like to ask that question as well. On a scale of 1 to 10, how productive have you been today in terms of your goals, and then also in terms of dopamine detox? But yeah, it was a great call. I finished it, and then I hopped in the shower before hopped on the call. But then I went and brushed my teeth. Maybe I did that before the call also. But yeah, I kind of just unwinded for bed. I drew the curtains, the blinds in my room, turned on the air conditioner because it makes me cool when I have cool air flowing when I'm gonna sleep and shit, which is conducive to me falling asleep. And then I journaled a bit on my phone. I turned on the red color filter on my phone, not just like the normal blue light filter, but like the actual color filter, which you can find on, like, if you have an iPhone, like accessibility color filters, and then you click enable, and then you click on color tint, which makes the entire screen red and eliminates a lot of blue light, which is conducive to me falling asleep and having good sleep, according to the fucking science or whatever. But yeah, it's I definitely believe that. But yeah, I hopped in the bed. I journaled for like 10 minutes on my phone about how the day had gone. Some stuff that I mentioned on these videos as well, but also some, I guess, more private stuff, if you want to call it that. It's more not really private stuff. It's more that I kind of I write what I feel and what I'm looking forward to, and how I'm like my emotional state and these kinds of things. Because like I think that's what, like I think that is what is lost in the ether of time. Like I can't really remember how I was feeling, um, how difficult something was 2 years ago. It's hard for me to conceptualize that. But when I write down, like, yeah, it was so difficult today to do this, but the dopamine detox that I'm on really helps me, and these, like, I write like that to my future self for him to be able to look back and kind of tap into the life that I'm living right now from the life that he's hopefully living in the future. So or that he'll be living. And yeah, I really like journaling on my phone. Um, in comparison to journaling on a journal, I like doing it on my phone because I can access it more easily. And in the future, that probably will be even more like true, because like I don't think I'll be carrying fucking a bunch of notebooks, like journals, in my fucking backpack or in my bags throughout my 20s or 30s of my entire life. But if I have it digitally, it's easier to access. And so that's the habit that I very much like. I also usually read a chapter of a fiction book series before I go to bed. I really love that, and it also helps me fall asleep because I can sort of get lost in that fantasy world, and yeah, I really like that, and it kind of calms me down or relaxes me. But the new book is on the way. I finished my previous book like a week ago or something, and the new book is on the way, and hopefully it'll arrive like maybe in a couple of days, hopefully. So yeah, man, that was kind of my day. In terms of NoFap, I didn't have any fucking urges yesterday, like basically none at all. It's like, yeah, like there are girls at the gym wearing fucking tight, revealing clothing. Of course there are, because that's like the norm and shit in the Western world. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's just like it's almost like I've gained enough consciousness to be like, it doesn't make sense. Like, why the fuck am I being enticed? Why am I being like fucking lured in by this like fucking this facade? Like, I know I'm not gonna fucking try to pursue casual sex or whatever. Like, why am I even interested? Like, why am I bringing my attention to this shit? I need my attention for myself and my goals, right? It's like, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Like, sure, I have the instant reaction when I see like a feminine figure in the corner of my. Of course, I have the instant reaction to be like, oh, what's that? You know, as like a man, because it's like a biological thing to pursue procreation. Of course, it is. But it's almost like I get the like a bit of a spark, like a sexual urge. Um, but then I'm kind of immediately like, what the fuck, man? Like, come on, you've been down that path many times. Like, you know that's not where you want to be. Like, come on, you know that there's work that needs to be done. You need your attention and your time towards that. It's like that. So I didn't really have any sexual urges yesterday or anything like that. Even in bed, I usually get some kinds of urges in bed because it's like the perfect environment for sex. It's warm, it's cozy, you're alone, it's dark, you're basically naked, you're tired and shit. But I didn't really get any urges in bed yesterday either. So yeah, man, really chill day, NoFap wise. So yeah, dude, that was my day yesterday. I would give myself like a solid fucking 9 out of 10, maybe even a 9.5 out of 10 in productivity. I think I did very well yesterday in terms of what I could have done. Not that of course I can do better. Like, I will get better at doing the stuff that I do, but like in terms of, I didn't really do anything that I wasn't supposed to do, that I knew that I shouldn't do, like that I shouldn't have done. I didn't scroll. I didn't eat any bullshit. In fact, there were a lot of temptations to like just grab a quick protein bar, a quick little nut bar, a little thing here to get some more protein in and get some more calories in and get some more fucking carbs in for my workout. But I was like, nah, come on. I'll have some oats instead. Some plain old fucking good old oats. Some just oats and water and maybe a bit of salt. That's it. No fucking bullshit. No processed sugars, whatever. So yeah, I just had that, and yeah, I think I did really well yesterday. Now, I do think that I could have been more efficient in the afternoon, and like let's say from about 12 to 3 when I came home from school, and before I'd gone to the gym. I think I could have done more stuff there. Maybe I could have done some math because I have like a math exam coming up, and I need to do some fucking studying for that shit. Which I I shouldn't be procrastinating. So maybe I should have done some of that, and maybe also I should have done some math in the afternoon after I came home from the gym. So at like 5 p.m., 6 p.m. When I had my dinner and I watched the videos that I watched. Maybe I should have done that. But in general, I'm very happy with the day. And yeah, I think if I continue with this level of productivity, I'll do really well, because I will naturally get better. And of course I do make like deliberate improvements. So like, how can I do this better? How can I compress this here? How can I make this quicker? How can I make this more efficient? How can I streamline this? How can I be more productive here? How can I remove this thing? How can I deem this thing what do you even say? How can I deem this thing um, useless? Like, how can I remove as many things as I can from my day so that I can actually focus on things that matters? So yeah, I think I'll do really well if I just continue with this productivity. And yeah, I think I did really well yesterday. And I'm hoping to continue this like today as well. And today so far, I did the same shit. You'll hear about it in the upcoming video tomorrow. But yeah, man. If you do want to join the community, if you want my free help, like I'm doing free coaching, I spend hours on calls every day holding my boys accountable. And if you want that, if you're like a 16 to 20-year-old guy, maybe from Europe or North America or like Oceania, whatever, and you're maybe from the first world, because those are the people that I can relate to most, and I could probably help you guys the most. And you're my age, like 16, 20 years old. I'm 18, and you are on self-improvement. You want to build muscle in the gym. You want to make money online. You want to build a business. You want to get financially free. You want to achieve great things in life, but you just kind of haven't really fucking been able to stop jacking off, because it's like a fucking addiction, whatever. It's just like an annoying thing that you need to get fucking rid of, and you know you're so much better than that. Then, because like that was me for a very long time, and yeah, dude, it's like I didn't really have accountability or I didn't, like, that was my fault, of course, that I didn't have accountability. But when I got accountability, when I told my best friends about my struggles, and when I started posting on YouTube, that was when I actually stopped fucking grabbing my pee and shit. So, yeah, dude, if you do want to join the group and you want to join you want to join the school community and get the free 3-hour course, like, you can do that, of course. But then also, if you want to take it the step further and like get my personal help and join the group that we have, the group chat, and attend the calls and make progress on this shit, then you can message me when you come into the community, or I'll probably end up sending you a message, and we'll have a chat and see if it's a good fit, bro. So I hope to see you inside. Yallah.